Welcome to the Industry Astrology New Moon Forecast for July of 2024. The energy is diminishing, growing darker, smaller. How are you feeling? The moon is waning, and on July 5th at 3:57 p.m. Pacific Time, the moon will conjoin the sun and then begin to wax again. Full of energy, but perhaps also a little pulled back. New moons are always new beginnings. Actually, it's the first day of the lunar cycle, which begins on July 5th. And it's a great time to recalibrate, recenter yourself. Because especially this new moon is in the star of Punarvasu Nakshatra. Punarvasu actually means the return of the light. And it is a star of renewal. It's a star of coming back to the truth, to self-improvement, to healing. So this new moon has a lot to offer if you are ready to make a change in the weeks to come as we move through this lunar cycle. July is opening up a lot of possibilities for learning, for growth, for self-improvement. There has been a pretty heavy influence of Saturn in the last few weeks, especially in the last couple weeks. Saturn has not moved hardly at all. He slowed down to a complete stop last Saturday and now has begun his retrograde cycle, in which he's just beginning to move again backwards. So these times, these turning points in Saturn's cycle can really feel like a grind, or somehow even like a feeling of not having enough energy, an exhaustion, or sometimes it's a sense of hopelessness or a lack of direction, especially if you are in a Saturn dasha, or if you know Saturn has a special influence on your chart right now. This new moon is a sort of breath of fresh air, and although Saturn's retrograde is going to continue into November, we have a hope, a spark of hope with this new moon. Punarvasu is a star of self-improvement. It's just growing and bringing in the light where it needs to come. So be open to epiphanies about maybe what your true needs are, or about relationships or situations, or what you really want right now in life, especially as we move through July into the waxing moon. Mars, the planet of war and will, has been in the sign of Aries since the beginning of May, which actually does help to get things done on a personal level, but it doesn't often bring it in a peaceful way. There's a lot of activity that can happen with Mars' influence in Aries. And it is also associated with fire there, and it has come with recently a great deal of heat on the West Coast. I'm actually in California now, and it's a heat wave here. So I believe this Mars Aries brings a certain irritability as well, and inflammation to the body, to the mind, to the emotions, and especially that stationing Saturn has been casting what they call a dristi, an aspect. He's gazing right at Mars. Saturn tends to gaze downward, and the third sign from it approaching is considered to be his most powerful gaze, because it's straight where he naturally looks. So he's been looking right at Mars. So there really has been maybe even a sort of sense of being in a pressure cooker. It's okay to slow down and think about what to do in the future, and maybe it's not a time to push and force anything. As we move through July into the weeks to come, I think there'll be a lot more momentum happening. Saturn will be moving backwards, but slowly picking up speed. And this Punarvasu moon really does bring in a new light, a new hope. It's connected to the goddess Aditi, the mother of all, Mother Nature, and her cycles of life as well. She gives birth to everything, as everything gives birth to her. So there is this promise of renewal within this nakshatra. So connecting with nature, the healing power of nature right now, and praying for the balance of nature as well in this scorching heat wave we are in California and the fires that are threatening here. And let's just take a look at what the tarot cards have to say about the upcoming new moon in Punarvasu. So the first card that came through is the sun. That Punarvasu, to bring the light again. The sun rises again after the storm. Aditi is the mother of the Adityas, and the Adityas are the solar deities. The energy of the soul. It has the Shakti to bring wealth, to bring substance, to bring all sorts of possibilities here. So imagine how you would like things to improve. With the Ace of Cups as well, there's sort of, that's the potential there. Also, this reminds me of how Venus also she's been combust along with Jupiter in the recent weeks, and she's coming out of that combustion very soon. She'll be appearing as evening star, and this begins a whole new cycle for her as well. Very auspicious new beginning in relationships, perhaps with friendships, with community, with art, and financial possibilities coming forward. Yeah, there's a whole very nice combination here, a whole new beginning with this new moon. And then the Four of Coins, the Four of Pentacles. It's a time when we can really, this new moon, pull back, look within, find our shelter perhaps, find a refuge space, and create a boundary around what's sacred, like a renewal of ourselves to prepare for something new to come. Come back to what makes you strong, what gives you a sense of balance, energy, and health, what makes you feel good again, what brings in the light. Get outside and move. Connect with your body. Connect with your sense of creativity, your art. A new possibility is being born from the earth, from her womb, a container to support something that can be not contained, something infinite, something full of possibility. From you, from your heart, begins the universal mother of creation herself, expressing. Allow for the new to come in and the gift that it can bring. Okay, thanks for coming to the Anandashri Astrology New Moon Forecast for July. I do offer one-on-one Vedic astrology readings and tarot readings. You can book on my website, anandastrology.com. Also, get on my newsletter, it's free, and do subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I will see you soon coming up on the next full moon.